Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So I was really actually just beating myself up before I just read my word because I was like, I've been doing so good, and I know this doesn't sound like a lot, but for the past 3 days being very dedicated to reading the word in the mornings first thing. Ellie has been sleeping in later, and I have just been letting her because I've got my time with Jesus, and it has positively affected my mental health and everything, my whole day, since I have started reading my word in the mornings consistently. And I am on a journey, okay? We all are on a journey. But sometimes I do really good. I can read it every single day, just the Lord spitting stuff out at me every single day. And then there's other times where I'm like, why do I even do this again? But we have to keep persevering and pressing through. But this week, the Lord has every day been spitting stuff out at me. It's been one of those weeks. Like, as I mentioned in my other video, life is all about balance, and I am not always this way. After I recorded that video, that life update video, Friday was one of the most hectic days that we have had, me, Joshua, in a month. It was just absolutely bizarre. Some things with him applying to his master's program, PA school, just were totally messed up. Don't know how a mistake happened, but he had to work 2 double shifts over the weekend to get enough hours and it was literally 0.003 over the amount of hours that he had to have to apply to be a physician's assistant to that master's program. And so it was just, Thursday was great. I finished recording my YouTube video, and then Friday was just like, wow, a test. And cried a few times, questioned God many times. Again, life is all about balance, and it's never perfect. You can be on a mountain, and then just like my week last week, the next day we were in a valley, and it was like, God, where are you at? Why? How could this have happened? It was purely by our human mistake, but he made a way and he brought us through it as he always does. His faithfulness, oh, so amazing. But I think it was starting Sunday, so it's been more than 3 days. But anyways, starting Sunday morning, I started reading my word consistently. I was actually wanting to post a video about a Sunday in my life with just Ellie, just me and her. But I felt the Lord wanted me to post this instead. So again, as I mentioned, I want to give some more deep content that is helpful to your soul, that is eternal, that is going to be eternally helpful. Does that make sense? Eternally helpful. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyways, so the Lord has just been spitting stuff out of me every day. And today, I did not read my Bible this morning. I made cinnamon rolls with my sourdough starter, and they turned out great, if you're wondering. Definitely going to be doing that again, but the recipe needed to be finished up in the morning. So I did that, and then I took a shower, and then Ellie woke up. And I just cannot get good quality time in my Bible when she's awake, because I'm like, my mind's everywhere, trying to figure out what task in my house I need to do next, where she's at, is she eating something she's not supposed to, just everywhere. So I just do not get good Bible time when she's awake. I love her to death, but it's just impossible. So she took a nap, and I was like, you know what, doesn't matter what time of the day it is, the rest of my house can wait. I'm going to put the Lord first. I read something on, and I'm going to get to the point in just a minute. I read a post from Well Watered Women's Company, I think is what it's called, but it said something to the effect that you'll never regret putting the Lord first in your day. So I was beating myself up because I just didn't do that today. I made my cinnamon rolls. And again, it's not like the Lord was scolding me, but literally all I could think about this morning was, I need to read my Bible. I need to read my Bible. I need to be filled up for the day. I need it. I want to be in this mindset all the time. I'm not. It's actually more so opposite. Got this old flesh that wants to just get started on the housework, not necessarily bad things. Get started on the dishes for the day, whatever it is. But putting him first, it says something to the effect of that you will never regret it. And I haven't yet, so I'm going to keep going. But so today she got her first nap, and then I was like, let me jump into my Bible. And I've only been reading a chapter a day, but today the Lord was really speaking to me about, dun dun dun, the power of the cross. So if you've never heard of World Evangelism Fellowship, WEF, I think is what it's, yeah, their acronym. Sorry, the lighting is changing so much. It's a cloudy, kind of sunny day. But anyways, they, Jimmy Swaggart preaches on the message of the cross. I think they have a show and everything. I'm not super caught up on all the different things they do. They do a ton of stuff. It's actually who I'm taking Bible college through. but their ministry focuses on the power of the cross. And not that it's taking away from Jesus, because when we say the cross, we're directly talking about Jesus, but we're talking about the act of what he did on the cross and the things that came out from that eternally altering event, if you will. So, and this part, I don't know, it just clicked in my brain today. I knew this, I've read this, but it just clicked in my brain. So maybe as you're listening to me speak about this today, it'll just click in your brain too. But Exodus chapter 19, which is Mount Sinai, and that's where the law was given. That's where God gave Moses the law, the 10 Commandments, also known as the law. But in chapter 19, it's talking about what the Lord commands the people to do before he shows up in the mountain. And one of the biggest things that came from the cross it really was so much, but the thing I want to focus on is the ability to touch God. Because if you remember when Jesus died on the cross, in Matthew 27:51, it says, "Behold, the veil of the temple was rent or torn in twain from top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent or split." NIV says it was torn, the earth did quake, and the rocks split. So if you remember, when Jesus died on the cross, that veil was torn. Again, it is only because of what Jesus did on the cross, that action, that we can now come before God's throne. Hebrews 4:16 says, "Let us then with confidence," some people say boldly before the throne, "draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." It is only because of what Jesus did on the cross that we can do that. And if you're like, okay, yeah, I get it, what's the big deal? In Exodus chapter 19, the people were told to sanctify themselves, get ready, because the Lord was going to come down, but not to go near or touch the mountain, because God was going to come up on that mountain and speak to Moses. And they were told not to touch it. And it's not that God was unapproachable, but it was that we are sinful people and God is holy. Okay, and that word sanctify is just being set apart to, and we can't be set apart and we can't be sanctified without the power of the cross. So they were told to sanctify themselves. The main thing I want to drive home here is that we could not touch God today if it was not for the power of the cross. The people of Israel, the Israelites, God's chosen people, could not even touch him because they were full of sin. They had to earn their righteousness, if you will, through obeying the law. But us, when we accept Jesus in our heart and we recognize the power of the cross is sanctifying us day by day. It is a process. But that finished work at the cross, that veil was torn, and now we can touch the presence of God. Now we can come boldly before the throne of God. Again, they could not get but so close to God, and that's the main point. We have a privilege that God's chosen people in Exodus chapter 19 could not experience. We, Gentiles, or maybe you're Jewish, but Gentiles get to touch God, his presence, and worship and prayer through his word because of the finished work of the cross. So I don't, again, know why that just kind of clicked in my brain today. And maybe you've heard this, and maybe you're hearing me now and like, that doesn't make any sense. But basically, here's the timeline. Exodus chapter 19, they couldn't touch God. They couldn't get but so close to the mountain because they were sinful people. Then the cross happened, and then the veil was torn, which was in Matthew 27:51. The veil was torn from top to bottom. Okay, and now we're on the other side of the cross. We get to touch the presence of God because of that action. I mean, I'm amazed. I'm in awe that we get to touch the presence of the living God because of the cross, because of the power of the cross. We can be healed. I mean, there's so much that comes, but just to be in his presence, when you have got to experience the presence and the power of God truly, then that should just overwhelm you. And if you haven't, get in a church that is spirit-filled where you can feel that presence, because you're missing out. It is the most amazing feeling in the whole entire world to be in the presence of God, And I feel it most when I'm worshiping him through song and music. Being in the presence of the living God, that was not possible for God's chosen people. So we just have such an amazing privilege that I do not take for granted. I do sometimes. I do take it for granted sometimes. But I want to keep that in the forefront of my mind, that it is only because of the power of the cross, through what Jesus did on the cross, that I can enter his presence, come before his throne boldly, making my request to find grace and help in my time of need. So I hope that this has spoken to your hearts this morning. Maybe you've already had this revelation. If so, that is amazing. I've known all this, but it clicked in my brain, and wow, it's just amazing. So I hope that you guys got something from this. If you have never accepted Jesus in your heart, then you probably have never felt the presence of God, because he doesn't dwell in you. And I'm going to link our church website and also in the comments. If you have never accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can find information there to accept him into your heart and to really start your journey of knowing who this Jesus is. Again, you may be like, what does that have anything to do with me? The presence of God. Why does that even matter? I'm telling you, you're missing something. If you feel like you're missing something, that's it. The presence of God. He wants to just surround you with his presence, but it's a choice that you have to make. He is not a forceful God that wants to force anything on you. So I'm going to link our church, like I said, website down below, and you can find out more information on how to know this Jesus that I'm talking about, how to experience the most powerful experience you will ever feel. And it's not just a feeling, it is eternal. Eternal life is what I'm talking about. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is the real stuff. This is what I'm passionate about. So I really hope that the Lord has spoken something to you, like I said, that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and like more content like this to come. Like I said, the Lord has just been pouring stuff out into me. So, and I want to share that with you as well. When the Lord gives you something, you can't just keep it to yourself. You got to share it. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.